7 o'clock, so we're beginning shortly. Okay, so let's begin. And first of all, a huge thanks. Oh, forgot to turn my camera on. First of all, huge thanks to all the French teachers. Even though you had holidays, you still managed to do your home tasks, and I got so many great emails. Thank you so much. I appreciate your dedication a lot. And it's okay if you've been late a little bit. Obviously, if you've been out of the country and having your holidays, I don't mean you to do your homework while on holidays. So I know that some of you just did them, and that's okay. We're going to use them throughout the meeting. Also, many great ideas, but I'll talk about that in a little tiny bit. And this is our third meeting. And during this meeting, our main task will be to find project groups. So this is the meeting where you will find your team that you will work with for the rest of the meetings. And also choose a project theme that you work on with your students. It's a pretty important meeting. And the first thing that I would like you all to do, if you haven't already, log on to your TwinSpace and find the third meeting presentation. See, but you'll be able to find it in our TwinSpace as well. And while you're doing it, what you will see is that I've changed it a little bit so that you don't have to put it in Google Documents as well, and so it was easier for you to use. Remember to never turn any meeting off, even when you're using Skype, and also try to keep your TwinSpace open at all times, because TwinSpace has all the things that we're going to do today in one place. And of course, you can scroll through presentation. If you haven't heard something, if you're unsure of something, you have the presentation and you can use it yourselves to find out whatever you missed. I have tried to include links, all the main information in presentations. In case there are any disruptions with the internet, you should be able to use the presentation and still do all the tasks. Okay? So for a minute, try to open it. I see that Ula asked a question. So go to twinspace.net. Go to our TwinSpace. Actually, I'll give you a link to our TwinSpace in chat. Go to our TwinSpace, log on, and then go to third meeting in pages. And there you'll see the presentation. It's just there. So I could actually show it to you. Just give me a second. I'll share my screen. Okay. Just a sec there. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Should be able to see it in a second. Okay, there we go. If I go to our twins, so first you see home, then to page third meeting, which is called project themes. You can see that's our meeting presentation, and there are also links to other things that we're going to use throughout the meeting. Somebody already started doing the tasks. Oh gosh, the patience, right? And here, if you want to download the presentation, you just click and you download it either as PDF or presentation, whichever is more suitable for you. So this sort of a gear thing here lets you download the presentation. You can also make it big, but I don't recommend it because it's very hard to see other things on your screen if the presentation takes hold of it. And there you can go forwards, backwards with these little arrows. You actually, each of you will have your own presentation to work with, so you will see your own presentations as well. But this is the meeting presentation, and I will put all the presentations in like this from now on. Okay. I will stop my screen sharing and share my presentation again. There we go, share slides. And third meeting. Great, somebody invited me to Skype already. I mean, you're so quick with things. Okay, so I hope everyone has the presentation now. I see many thumbs up. I don't know if it's about that though, but I'll check it. I'll just reset attendees, and if you could thumbs up if everything's okay, if you've patient, thumbs down if something's not okay, and maybe somebody has a question, because this is important that all of you have found where you can access the presentation. See 3 thumbs, 4, great. Great, 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 many thumbs up there. If you have found the presentation, give me a thumbs up so that I know. Good, good. I see that most of us have found where to download the presentation. If you have any problems with this still left, just ask them in chat, and Liana will help you with those. You know, she's a guru. She knows everything. Almost. Okay. So before we go further, we talked with Liana about your home tasks, and we found that there are many strong sides to your home tasks, but also some drawbacks, and I would like to go through those things. First of all, it was great to see that all of you are already students, as well as what they want to learn. And in many cases, it was great to see that those interests coincided with the interests of the teacher, which means that you could really accommodate the use of those interests during the learning process. Also, as I mentioned before with the profiles, and I could see it again now, there is a wide variety of your skills and experiences, which means there's a fertile ground for great projects here. And and another thing that is not mentioned here, but that was quite visible, that and I think it was great that you also shared, even though I didn't ask you to, obligatory, but you also shared your educational approaches to finding out what your students want to do and how they want to do it. And I think that maybe some of you found those ideas interesting and useful for yourselves. Talking about the drawbacks, in many homeworks, you didn't talk about your own interests. But I would like to stress this because it's very important that the project that you choose to carry out is also interesting for you, not only your students. So think about your strong sides as well, and I will ask to do it during the meeting as well. Think about your strong sides and your interests and what you would like to do. For one, teachers, think about yourselves, because the projects tend to be greater, better if teachers do what they like. It's like with the learning process. And the other drawback is that please don't underestimate your partners. And please think about those experiences that you would like your partners to have, or maybe skills that you don't have yet, but you would like your partners to have those. Because this is a very crucial help that you can get from other people while carrying out your project. So think about yourselves and think about your partners and what you'd like them to be able to do for the project. That's crucial. So that's about the home task. And now let's get to what we have to do in this meeting. And the first task is all of you did your homework in the TwinSpace journal. So now just look through in our TwinSpace journal and choose 2 to 3 posts that you want to comment on with the skills that you think might be interesting for your students or yourself to work on. And your task now is to look through them, but also leave comments. And in those comments, you can ask questions or maybe write, why are you interested in those skills? And actually, they are meant to help you find out anything that you would need to know to understand if that is a skill that you want to work on. So this task is for you to be able to look through other ideas and maybe come up with something else rather than the thing that you wrote about that you would like to work on. So look through what others have written and leave your comments. 10 minutes for that. I'll turn my camera off and sound off meanwhile. And before I go, I'll just shortly show you where to find it. I'm sharing my screen in a second. So if you go to TwinSpace again, you go to Home, there's the project journal with all your home tasks. To answer somebody's post, you just have to click Add Comment and then type your answer and press Post. Also important is that there are more entries than you can see in one page. If you scroll down in the entries and just don't forget to press Show More. And remember, your task is to find 2 maybe ideas that you're also interested in and leave any comments that might help you choose a project partner, project idea. Okay? So again, project journal. Home, you will see project journal. You can access all the posts here and answer them by clicking Add Comment and writing your comment and pressing Post. I'll be back in 9 minutes. Your task, meanwhile, is to find at least 2 things that you're interested in and leave your comments there. Any questions? Remember to use any meeting chat. That's it. I'm being quiet now. Okay. There is 1 minute left. So please finish reading the post that you're reading or typing the answer you're typing. Remember to press F5 to refresh the page. So F5. So that you see all the answers that are there. Good. The time's up. If somebody's still finishing, that's okay. But the next task will be you have minutes to just look through the comments that are there for your post and answer those, okay? So 5 more minutes. If someone's still finishing, finish what you're doing, and then go back to your post and look at the questions there and answer them. I'll turn my sound off for a while and I'll be back in 5 minutes. So finish your posts, finish your reading, and then go back to your post. Okay. I see that most of you have gotten at least one comment and I've talked a little bit. That's okay if there are no comments yet. Remember that there's a huge amount of text and we have a limited amount of time. So it's great even if you haven't looked through all the ideas, but if you've at least gotten one, maybe two, three ideas that could be alternatives to your own idea for your students to work on, that should get your thinking and be able to choose from a bigger pool of ideas for your students. Okay, let's go to the next task. Those who are still finishing, just finish it off. But remember that you will have a chance to talk to each other as well. So it might be more efficient to wait for the opportunity to talk and not try to talk in chat. Okay. So the next task is to choose a skill that you would like to work on during the project. So it's one skill that you want to develop for your students during the project. And I would like to stress that it should be a skill this time. Also, you have to add your name, surname, and country, and put this whole thing in a Padlet wall. There's a link to the Padlet wall down here, so you can access it through here. And remember, we already used the Padlet wall in the first meeting. So to leave your comment, you just have to click twice anywhere on the wall. So just click twice anywhere on the wall and a dialog box will appear where you write in your name and country and you write in the skill that you want to work on. So for a little while, then so think about it and write it down. And we will use this Padlet wall to make idea clouds so that you can find your partners. But this is the time when you choose only one skill, okay? Don't worry, I'll move you around a little bit, so don't get stressed. Yes. So one skill that you are sure right now that you want to work with work on with your students. You can choose the one that you wrote in your home task, or you can choose a different skill that you find while reading what other teachers have written, if you find it better than your own. Okay? And I'm trying to just group the ideas. Okay, so I see a lot of speaking here. To see how our groups form, maybe let's try to be more specific. You have mentioned a skill, but now if you could write down few ideas as other have, I didn't ask for it, but let's just do it to see how the groups form. Maybe write down a theme that you're interested in. For instance, there is food, music, different ideas. But try to choose one, maximum two, okay? That you're interested. So think about the topics of your project. Okay. Now I'm trying to group you. Good. I will finish the grouping, but meanwhile, I'll start sharing my screen. You can see everything on your screens as well. If you have written your idea here, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. There is one person still missing. If you have any problems with writing your idea here, just type them in chat. Okay? Type them in chat. And I will group those ideas in a bit, but meanwhile, I'd like you to have a task to do so that you don't get bored. So your next task to do is to log on your Skype. If you haven't logged on your Skype yet, now's the time to do it. And while you're doing it, I'll shortly explain what you can do on Skype and actually what you will need to do today. So I know that some people already invited me to Skype, so I'm sure that you know how to do it, but for some that might not be that easy. So I'll just explain basic things about Skype that you will have to use today. So first of all, you will have to be able to find people on Skype and add them to your contacts. And for that, there is a tab called Contacts and Add Contact. And then you can search Skype directory and just type in the names of the people. I remind you that we have our Skype names on our journal, and you have to invite people that have similar interests to yours for the next activity. So if you have your Skype turned on, just try to find where to add contacts now. Also, in Skype you can both have a video call, but it's with 2 people, a little bit more now, but I'm not sure, I think 5 maybe is the maximum. You can have a voice call with all of you, and you can also send files. That's with the clip, the blue clip button, and you can also type in chat. So in case somebody from your group doesn't have microphone or headphones or doesn't want to talk, it's okay, just let them type in chat. But I suggest, if there's a chance, that all of you should talk on Skype, because that's much easier to collaborate if all of you are on Skype call. Good. So for Skype, first, to have someone in conversation, at least one of the team should have that person in their contacts to invite them to conversation. And when you start the call, you can add more people to the call, or you can add more people to chat. Torso button with the plus sign. If you look on the right side, there's like a human with head and a plus sign next to it. That's the one you should use to add people to chat or to call. So that's about Skype. I hope that most of you can use Skype already, but just to check if everything's okay, please vote thumbs up if you understood question, if you have any questions, because you will have to use Skype next. Great, great, great. Lots of thumbs up. I hope at least one person from each group will be able to use Skype. Sylvie, if you could please type your question in chat so that I can answer and know where you're down and help you. Galina, Ula, please type your questions in chat. Okay, Sylvie, I was explaining how to use Skype, but if you didn't hear it, that's okay. Just use the presentation in TwinSpace, and go back and you'll see all the options that you have to use. Also, Galina, yep, it's this. There are like these red arrows. I'll go back. There are these red arrows for all the options, and they're all in English, so all of you understand them. The red arrows point all the buttons that you should use to have a conversation. Yeah, we'll get to that tool in a second. It's through Journal, because in Journal we have all the contacts. Okay. Yeah, we will have Skype names. We will hope that there are not 10 of them, but usually you can save that person because you see from which country they are as well. If in case you don't, you'll be able to ask that in chat. Yeah, there are very many similar Skype names, but yes, let's hope that doesn't happen. But thanks for the question, it's important. Okay, let's try. So I'm going to finish sorting the posts out on Padlet, but you already see which are the people with similar interests to you. I will just try to make clouds and comment on that. I'm sharing my screen for it. I'll delete my example so it doesn't bother us. Food and music. We have speaking culture there. Ecology, I was pulling all the ecologies down here. Some of you have more than one idea. So now's the time to choose which one is the one. So I think there's the ecology group down here. Also made the sports group down here. There's two people who want to make video. I put them a separate group because there wasn't anyone else who had specifically mentioned that. There's an interactive story which might be connected to videos. I'm just putting it here. Maybe it's different. There are traditions and culture group. I put you all in this cloud up here. culture and traditions. Yes, 4 people. Have to pull Cecile somewhere. Everyday life and environmental issues. I'll just put you to environment here, but you also could work with people from the group about everyday life. And there are 2 people who specifically want to work with games. And Pauline, I'm pulling you to music because, well, actually I could put you together with Crystal because she has both food and music. I think I've made them as good as I can. Now it's your turn. And what I'd like you to do is just look through this list. You're in a group that you might want to work in, but maybe you don't. Maybe there's somebody else that you want to work in. And there are only 2 rules. I'll share the presentation again. First rule is you should have at least people from 2 countries. So at least 2 people and at least 2 countries. Only 2 rules to make the groups. To find out with whom you want to work with, you can use Skype. To find out where, to be able to communicate with people on Skype, you have to invite them to your contacts. You can find Skype names in the project journal. I'm opening it. Putting a link. They're all Skype names. On the journal. There. So, before you go all crazy on me and then start inviting each other on Skype, just some important points. First of all, remember the 2 rules. At least 2 countries, at least 2 people. You can have a group of 2 people. That's okay. Also, when you have chosen the person that you want to work with and talk to him or her on Skype, you have to choose one presentation. And you see at the bottom of the slide, there's a link to project presentations. You can choose your colors. If you're the first, there's a bigger choice. If you're the last, you just pick the ones that's left. But each presentation has the name of a color, and each presentation will have one team working in it. And in the presentation, step by step, during our 8 meetings, we will create project plans. So, first, talk to him or her on Skype. When you have found your partner, choose a presentation and type in your names in the first slide of the presentation. All of this is also written here on the slide. If you didn't understand anything, I mean something from what I said or didn't hear me, please just carefully read the slide because all the information is there. Okay? So if you need any help or more explanations, just type it in the chat in any meeting. Me and Leanne will answer. But all of you should be choosing your team right now. Oh, and there is one group that has 5 people in it. We don't have group 5 people, so you can split in 2 people and 3 people, or maybe choose to work with a different group. But it's a strict rule. Maximum people in one group is 4. And I would suggest that there would be 2 to 3 people because that's better because all of you will be able to work together easier, especially those who haven't had experience with other projects before. Okay? So maximum of 4 people, at least 2 countries. Only 2 rules. And now lots of communication will be going on. Use the journal, use a Padlet wall, choose your presentation. I will follow if you have chosen the presentation. If we do it faster than in 10 minutes, I'll be back in faster. If we don't, I'll be back in 10 minutes, okay? I'll just turn my camera and sound off so you can talk. I'm just answering in the chat. If you see that there are many people from the same country, one idea, most of you have written more than one idea. So just look where else you would like to be. These are not like predefined ideas or groups you should work in. That's just connections, so it's easier for you to understand to whom you should talk right now. Okay? So this is not a rule. You don't have to work in those groups. You can change your group. But this is just how it looks right now and where you might find other people that are interested in the same thing. There's still 5 minutes left, so calmly just find the person you want to talk to and form your groups. When you're done, choose your color and write your names in the presentations. I see we have 2 teams already formed. Great. We have a purple team and we have a light blue team. Great. If you already found your group, just make a Skype conversation and do the next task. The next task is to get to know to each other and talk about your strong sides for this project idea, okay? So those who are already in the groups, great. Talk to each other on Skype and let's wait for the others to finish. I'm trying to add the groups to the journal as well. So just keep writing. Tuesday. Okay, Lena writes to me that I should show you how you open the presentations. I will share my screen. For those who have problems with that, just watch me now, I'll show it. There, share monitor number 2. So, if you started from nothing, you open the link. Rather take if you open the link, you should see not that. Okay, let me copy the link again. Okay, let me see what the problem is. There. Also pasting it in chat if somebody doesn't have the link, so you can follow what I'm doing. Chat. Here we go. Just ask Lena to do it for me. Lena, if you please put this link in the chat. Okay. So you should see lots of presentations here. Violet and blue are already taken, but the rest of the colors are free. If you just click on one, a presentation opens. And then to edit the presentation, there's a pop-out button at one side. It's like a square with an arrow in it. If you press it, the presentation will open and you will be able to edit it. So when you can edit it, you can write the participants in here if you have chosen your color. Okay, so again, I'll start from, I take the link, you have it in the chat, paste it. It opens options, I choose a color, and then I press this code button. It's a square with the arrow in it on the right top corner. If I press it, a presentation opens and I can edit it. Okay. I'm stopping screen sharing for now. Oh, and I have a black team as well. And a light green team as well. Is coming up. There's a group, I'm told by Sophie that there's a group where only French teachers are. That group should be able to find someone from another country because, you know, only 2 rules, at least 2 people and at least 2 countries. Those rules should be met. Is there anyone still who hasn't found a group? Is there still anyone who's not in any groups? Could you please type it in the chat in any meeting? If there is someone, okay, Ola is not in a group. Sophie, I'm looking at your group. It's speaking, ecology, culture, environment. Ola doesn't have a group yet, and then her ideas were about, let's see where she was. Speaking, to make a video, spare time. I think maybe you could have Ola in your group. Oh, sorry, Ola. Seems that you're very popular. Yeah, I know Catherine, Sophie needs someone who's not French and doesn't have a group yet. Okay, so Galina is with Katerina in group, so it's okay now, is it? Ooh, lots of things happening. Just saying, once we sort this out, you will be able to talk to each other in Skype in all the meetings, and it's gonna be much easier. Okay. Those who do not have groups yet, again, if you can vote thumbs down, those who are not in any groups right now, who have no groups, vote thumbs down so that I see you need some help. Yes, Sula, we know about you, but it seems that you already have 2 groups. Those who are in groups, I hope you already started talking, but if you didn't, then now's the time. Talk in Skype and tell each other about your strong sides. And we will go to the next task in a second, but first we will try to sort together the problems that some people still have, because it's very important that we find groups before we go further. So Catherine and Sophie are two French teachers with no groups. Okay? I have two Sophies with no groups. Let me see which groups have formed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 people in groups. So some of the groups that have formed, haven't chosen their presentation yet. I'm sending the link again. So if you have your group, please send it here. And I see, and I'm thinking what to do with those people who does not have group yet. Paulina, you should split in 2 groups, please. 2 people and 3 people, okay? 5 is too much for a group. We've been through this, we know. 2 and 3 people, you should switch into have more similar interests or want to work to groups. Okay, Sophie, great. Great. We've got Catherine and Sophie, and I know that Ula is going to meet with Aiga in a second, if everything's okay. Helen, you had to choose a group, so I didn't put you in a groups before because I let you choose the group that you want to be in. Okay. And I will go through those things again, but since we have some groups who are ready to work, I'll give you a task because there's not much time left, and we'll try to sort the problem out with the next group. This task is also connected with the home task, so the home task will be to finish this. If you have formed your group swiftly, then just start working on this. And your task is to fill in the second slide of the presentation, which is basically 4 questions. And these are the questions you also had to think about while doing your home task. So in your presentation, fill in the second slide, but now talk it together because some things have obviously changed because you're in a group, and answer those 4 questions. Use 1 slide, don't go over. Just use 1 slide, be very brief, precise, and write in the answers to the questions for your project. This is the beginning of the project plan that you're going to work on through all the other meetings. So 4 questions, start answering those. Meanwhile, we will be trying to help those people who haven't found the groups yet, okay? So we will be trying to help those who haven't found groups yet. Talk in Skype, do your task, and we'll be helping those who still need groups. So I'll turn my Skype and sound off. I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay, I've gone through the presentations. The light blue group have 5 participants. I know that you said it on chat, but you should split into groups. So 2 and 3 people. Light blue group, please, you have to split into teams, okay? And then we have 4 participants. We have 4 participants who have some of them not rotate, but who not in any teams. So we will try to sort this out right now while others finish. But for those who are writing slides, there's still 3 minutes left. So please keep doing the task. Okay, I have looked through all the people, and I've sent Liana a list of who is online and haven't found the group yet. And our task should be done right about now for those who have found the group. It's okay if there are some things that you're still learning and you can't find that quickly, that's okay. There's still people who need groups, and there are people who wrote to me and said that they couldn't attend today, so maybe you'll be able to find people from those from those who are not here as well. And anyhow, we'll sort this out. Don't worry if you haven't got the group yet. It's okay. You just have to call to each other between the meetings in one evening, whichever you decide. Okay. And if there are things connected with this, we can still stay a bit longer after the meeting and talk it through. But meanwhile, I would like you to see what other groups have created, and therefore, before we go to it, um, and before we do it for the first time in a descriptive way, we are going to use a lot of peer evaluation during our meetings, and yeah, just something that scientists say about peer evaluation and why we are using it. So, and how to actually do it. I know that most of you, well, all of you know this because you do it every day with children. This is just a reminder in connection with our course. So, if you evaluate someone else, and you'll do that in a short while, so it's, of course, it's very important that your comments are specific. Also, they have to be short and precise. They have to identify the problems and also provide solutions if you can. Also, there is proof that positive affective feedback help people learn the most, but it is also very important to say the negative things. I hope we managed to give each other a good peer evaluation. And one thing that I found very interesting when I read is that some scientists found out that those who gain most while doing a peer evaluation are actually the assessors, not the assessees, but the assessors. And the more precise evaluation they give to others, the better their own projects become. Taking in consideration all what these scientists say, I made a short list of 5 rules that we should take notice of while evaluating each other. So first of all, the aim of peer evaluation in this course is to empower others. So it should be short, constructive, and precise. Identify problems, provide solutions, or ask questions that help people get to solutions themselves. Also, both good and bad sides are highlighted. And important thing is to keep in mind your own project and your own idea while you're evaluating someone else. Obviously, not all of us did that in groups today, but all of us did it in a home task today. So you'll be able to carry out all 5 of these points. And the last task today, and I know that it's a little bit late, but that's the last one, I promise, before evaluation, is to evaluate other teams' presentation. And I had made a scheme of presentation that we should evaluate, but it's not going to work today since not all of us are in groups yet. Therefore, I'll just type in chat, and you just choose one that you want to evaluate. The groups that have formed and that have their presentations developed. Let me open them. And yellow team, how many groups there? First task is finished by, let me see, light blue team. So you can look at the presentation of light blue team. Light green team has already started work as well. Orange team hasn't yet. Purple team has, I think it seems that they've almost finished it. So light blue, light green, purple, white team have started, and yellow team have started. So look through the presentations, and whichever you choose, just read through and leave the comments to the content that's already there. And if you could just do it, those who haven't got this yet, do it individually. And those who are working, just finish up what you have started. That's okay. But those who didn't find groups yet, this is just for your own sake, because you'll have to do the same thing at home. Just shortly look through them, and in 4 minutes, let's go to the last thing that we have to do. Whew, great. It seems that we only have one person who's not in a group, okay? If you're typing a comment, you should finish typing it now. I see that some comments are already there, but not many. So if you read something, it would be great if you would leave your comment now. Oh, great. Some of the teams have written so much in so little time. Okay. For those who are reading and commenting, please write in your comment. But we'll go further, and I'll explain the home task so that I didn't take more of your time than it planned. So, and about the home task, and please note that the home task is due in 1 week, so that me and Liana would manage to comment it until we next meet. So please, the home task should be handed in till the 5th of March. And your home task will be to work in groups and to finish the slide that you have started. Some of you have and some of you haven't yet. But your task is the second slide of the presentation to answer 4 questions. Oops, I have a mistake there. Sorry. But anyway, your task is to read through, to finish, to answer the 4 questions. And since I understood that I write very long, maybe it's not yet needed, description, the evaluation is going to be very easy as well. you will get 1 point for each question that you have answered. In case the question will not be answered, me and Lena will leave a comment and ask you the answer to the question. So your home task is in your groups, so it means one slide together. Not each of you, you create a slide as a team. Create a slide and answer to 4 questions that are top. And the questions are, what skill will your students develop during the project? And I suggest you choose one skill that you will focus on. Why is this skill important for students? What students' interest might you might choose to develop this skill? And what is the added value of developing this skill through a project? Okay? So 4 questions, 4 answers, 4 points. Work in groups. If you have it in you, you can finish it today. If no, you can arrange a meeting in Skype anytime next week. I see that all people here except for one, have groups, or at least are signed in groups. If you do not have a group, please stay longer and we'll sort it out. And I will also I also said that I have some people who couldn't attend today and wrote to me, so we'll have to find groups for them as well. It might be the case that you might work together. That, from my side, those are the main things that we had to do today. But the last thing, and it's really important now, is to fill in the evaluation. There's the link to evaluation. If you could, and there's also questions about group work. So if you had problems with group work, just type it in there and we'll sort it out till the next meeting, okay? And in case you do not have a group yet, that's okay. We'll find it and we'll sort it out, and we'll prolong the time when you can hand in your homework. And to be quite honest, you've amazed me once more, because this is not easy. You had to use, probably some of you hadn't done that a lot on Skype before, but you still managed to find your group online, and that is not an easy task offline either. So great job, everyone. It's amazing if you found your group, and we'll definitely sort it out if you didn't find your group. Okay? So please fill in the evaluation forms, also sending you a link to those. I will read all of them, and I will do any changes that be needed, or think about the groups and think of how to sort it out. That's why I'm here for, isn't it? And so please leave your comments there. There is still, Lena writes me that some people still had problems with Google Documents. That's okay, sort it out. We'll put in some instructions on TwinSpace so that you could understand how to do those things and didn't have problems with that. And thank you for the meeting, and please fill in the evaluation form. And see you in 2 weeks. So see you on March 12th, same time, 7 o'clock plus 2 hours GMT. And in case there are any problems left that you want to sort out today, type it in chat. And we'll wait for your home tasks excitedly. Okay. So Helena asked about the time. Start at 7 o'clock. The meeting opens 15 minutes before 7. It's 7 o'clock plus 2 hours GMT time. So 7 o'clock plus 2 hours GMT time. And we meet in 2 weeks, so it's 12th of March. Yep, thank you. See you next week. Not next, well, the week after the next. Oh, and French teachers, I hope that since you had some time, you told everyone about your adventures and holidays. Understand that there's still holidays, still some holidays left, so have a nice time of spending those. We will have holidays in a few weeks as well. Okay, and since I don't see any questions in the chat right now, please write them in your evaluation forms if they're not answered yet. And I promise I will read all of them and I will answer those questions, okay? So I'm closing the meeting and thank you very much. And then see you soon.